but what a day as they win 4-0 at home. Omar Marmoush with a first-half hat-trick. The goals coming just 14 minutes apart. All right, here's the update from Pep Guardiola. Quote, "When he was down, everyone was scared. He got up, walked smiling like always. I didn't speak to him, but the doctors didn't come for bad news. Hopefully he will be fine for Madrid," of course, referencing the second leg of their Champions League tie coming up. So
how many teams only have 3 shots against Man City these days? Jack?
Not a lot.
Seriously,
I'm being serious. I didn't think we were going to start with how bad Newcastle were in this game. I think we'll get to that. But maybe that's a credit to City. I mean, they can't
defend. They can't defend.
This is as good as we've seen City since.
Since Newcastle allowed them to look this good.
Since the last time Newcastle were in town.
They played. Let me just say, I predicted a 1-1 in this. And at no point did Newcastle look like they were going to score. At no point did they look like they had enough to contain Manchester City. To their credit, and for all the criticism we've kind of hurled at Manchester City, rightfully so, for the last few months, this was an absolute walk in the park. Everything about it clicked. Marmoush was simply outstanding. Hat-trick in, 31 minutes or something of the sort. And that told its tale, because, again, the difference between the two kind of give, again, the criticism we've put at Manchester City and some of the praise we've put at Newcastle. I'm not sure how to explain it.
What was that stat on Newcastle that you had in the commentator?
Newcastle have not beat Manchester City. I don't want to say the Etihad, because the last time it happened was at Main Road. Alan Shearer scored in
2000,
2005
right?
or 2000.
Yeah.
That's the last time that Newcastle won away at Manchester City, and we all know how things have gone since that. I mean, it's hard to underscore the difference between the two. Kind of given, again, how we've spoken about both these two teams during the course of the season, because it was 4 and deservedly so.
That's a great response, though, from City off the back of their defeats and their mistakes in the Real Madrid game, a game that they should have lost by more ultimately. But that's a good response. But you know, that's not the kind of animal they'll be facing in 3 or 4 days or whatever it is. So you know, it's not.
Well, nothing's Real Madrid, but we've heaped a lot of praise on Newcastle this season.
Yeah, but they were poor today, and
the City doesn't deserve the credit for that?
Yeah, well, look, City are pushing for the top 4. That is all. I think the big concern, and we talked about Haaland, and we showed the clip of Haaland going off, and of course that is a concern. But that's not their biggest concern, and it's only my opinion. It's not like, how will that affect how many they score? It's not going to alter how many they may lose. And I think that is a big problem going into this game in midweek. That's why I'm surprised a good Newcastle side has not caused this Manchester City side more problems. I don't have all the answers to it because I wasn't really across this game as much. We were doing all the La Liga stuff. But it's a big result for them. You don't want to go into a Champions League second leg, huge tie, off the back of another bruising defeat, which they haven't done. So that's a huge bonus for them. Whether that's going to do anything to the conference or the shape or whatever it is, going into the Bernabeu, I have my doubts.
I think it should, because to your point, this was a good Newcastle team. Maybe you want to bring in Livramento instead of Trippier. You could make that argument. Joe Linton was missing, but Murphy played on the right-hand side. But outside of that, this was Newcastle's regular front 3, including Alexander Isak, who's been terrorizing defenses all season long. I can't tell you one thing he did during the course of the day. And if you're Manchester City and you've had the problems that you've had, coming up against that good a front 3 and looking that comfortable, I take a lot of heart from it.